Hello everybody and welcome back to Killer Gaming. This is my vlogging series where I talk about gaming news, gaming topics, anime, releases, gaming news, etc, etc. If you like this video, please check out my other content. My name is VSD8, by the way. Anyway, so this relates to an article that I found online. I'm just going to get rid of a camera for now and I'm going to read this article. Now we all knew about certain degrees of benefits of playing games, but to be honest with you, I never really went into it too much. You know, it just stress relief maybe, and whatever else, you know what I mean. Didn't really give it too much thought, but this article goes into great detail to explain it. So it starts off this way: playing games till you don't know whether it's day or night is your favourite little secret. Well, me being me, yes, I'm sure we've all, well, as gamers, we've all done that. Play games for as long as, you know, and just lost track of time. Now you can stop feeling guilty about it. You have been dreaming all your childhood, Jesus, to do so, but your parents didn't let you. Now you can go and tell them that they were wrong. Turns out that playing video games is actually good for your health. Recent research indicates that they don't lead to isolation, violence and obesity, but on the contrary. Now there's a list here, but it goes into a lot more detail. Help improving basic mental abilities, particularly in cognitive ones. I can't even say that word. Can slow down the aging process and what? Okay. Reduce pain and anxiety associated with chronic diseases and even medical procedures. Help kids with dyslexia improve their attention span. Train vision to better analyze optical data at fast pace, and even help with recovery after strokes. That's interesting. I would like to think that a lot that's actually done in the medical world, but I don't know. But there you go. I'd like that one to be if it can help improve. Okay, so improved vision is one of the most obvious health benefits. Now, at least off the top of my head, that would dictate to me, based on the fact that I wear glasses, that you're looking at a screen all day. Surely that fucks your eyesight, right? Maybe that's just sitting too close to the screen. I don't know. Anyway, after all video imply fast-moving images and exciting action and continuous stressful decision-making related situations, those who will practice such games become better at visually judging a situation, noticing details, and taking decisions accordingly. Okay, I believe that's also based on the fact that the army actually uses gamers, by the way, to train and even recruit people through the world of gaming, based on the fact that they can decipher tactical situations on the battlefield at faster pace, because they're programmed to do it over so many years of gaming. That's a true story, by the way. They do actually do that. Okay, stress relief is another common advantage. If you take the account of connection between stress and the risk of various chronic diseases, you can go even further that playing video games can keep you healthier. It takes all the stress and tension gathered throughout the day. It helps you feel better and focus on everything else that matters. Well, I'll be honest with you, I've experienced it when a lot of people are dicks on the internet anyway, and you play various games, and people's personality changes when they're online. I seem to notice that along with maybe people from my clan, but mostly people who I play against. You know what I mean? They're just dicks, and I feel that they're not actually that way in real life, but it comes across that way. You know what I mean? Like, to release that stress, and they rant and rave and scream and shout abuse, things they wouldn't normally do. But when you've had a hard day, people just come online and they relieve that stress. So I kind of understand that point. Weight loss. Okay, that's pretty interesting. Weight loss is probably a shocking but impossible connection. A study from Health Science Center inside the University of Oklahoma conducted on children between 10 and 13 years old revealed the connection. More precisely, avid games with burning of just as much calories as the children who practice a moderate sport like bowling. You probably didn't realize how much these games are consuming you, but they do. Oh, well, okay. Just saying this. I mean, I know you burn fat when you stay up late because your body has to overclock, kind of thing. I'm actually using that expression, but it goes into overdrive or whatever, and it actually has to burn more calories when you stay awake because you're forcing yourself to stay awake when the body wants to shut down. I know that much, but bowling as a sport, losing weight in general. All right, you're doing it. Okay, I'll accept it. Fuck it. Pain handling is something already suggested And now I will detail playing games won't mysteriously take your pain away, but it can definitely help you cope better with it. A game that fascinates you will distract you from the actual pain. It gives you new pleasant focus, making the pain more bearable and the need for painkillers less acute. That was also, oh wow, okay, in the study. Stroke recovery is connected with the patient's need to make consistent, repetitive moves in order to regain the mobility. Video games are extremely useful because they make these people perform numerous movements, not just random and repetitive moves, but goal-directed. Their strength is significantly improved, and the fact that everything is achieved while playing makes the process much easier and delightful. Hopefully you won't need any of these benefits from recovering from various health conditions. Instead, maybe you just enjoy numerous other advantages like the ones below listed. Okay, now these are a little bit more detailed. Playing video games brings cognitive benefits. Maybe I should have googled that word before I started reading this. This isn't just some rubbish made up by the huge industry of video games meant to fool us. The full edition of the American Journal of Play 2014 is more serious than that. The issue featured a very interesting article on how video games bring positive long-term effects on some most important mental process, memory and attention, perception, even decision-making abilities. Researchers used two simple strategies to test these theories: a correlational analysis, a comparison between two control groups, and an experimental study, a series of experiments with measurements taken before and after exposure to video games. The correlation involved two groups of people who used to play such games regularly and who never played. Players had better scores at all the tests, making researchers assume that gaming made all the difference. Nevertheless to say, they couldn't exactly prove it. It was possible that people who already have better cognitive abilities in general do prefer playing such games. This is clearly a strong connection between the two of them. The study, on the other hand, is more interesting and effective and are much clearer. It involves a series of experiments with people who never played a video game before. These people were divided into two groups, one with people who started a particular game by a given schedule, and the other with people who continued not to play any kind of video game. They compared their abilities both before starting the experiment and after. They subjected part of the attendees to video games those who had started to play experienced much better results at the end of the experiment. This can only indicate that the cognitive benefits are a result, not cause, of playing video games. Not a cause. Okay, whatever. If you understood any of that, good luck. Playing video games makes you smarter. Okay. The study I previously mentioned pointed that passion for these games can improve a series of mental attributes. Researchers are interested in these attributes individually, but psychologists associate these attributes in general with intelligence. So the more you work on such skill, the smarter you become. Of course, some other studies back up this theory as well. As a group of British researchers, for instance, discovered that particular types of video games could actually improve the brain flexibility of the player. For scientists, this so-called brain flexibility is nothing more than the cornerstone of human intelligence. The new study was the work of the University College of London and Queen Mary University of London. Over 70 volunteers took part, and the test was again rather simple. They divided the subjects into two groups and had them play a total amount of 40 hours. One group played The Sims and the other group played StarCraft. In the end, they were all tested, and those who played StarCraft had significantly better results with their cognitive tasks, more accuracy and higher speed. I suppose that based on decision making, again, going back to what I said about the army. In general, your reaction speed, like Call of Duty, is a lot quicker, and what have you. Okay. Researchers now still need to find out whether these improvements are permanent or temporary. Furthermore, since both tests involved in video games, they also have to determine what exactly from StarCraft that The Sims didn't have improved the ability of the players. Off the top of my head, I would have said attention. The Sims I don't think you have to pay too much attention to. Not as much as you do in StarCraft. Not that I've played StarCraft. It's an action-based game, I believe. I can't really comment too much on the types of games. Well, now, whether it's temporary or whatever, off the top of my head, I'm going to say it's temporary, because when you play, like, just say Call of Duty or whatever, again, I'm using that as a fundamental reaction and you know, getting used to it again. I jumped on Battlefield, as a good example. I was good on, quite decent on Battlefield, and then my first few games, I kind of was sucky. I jumped back on it like yesterday, and then after about, I don't know, 3 or 4 games, I started to do good again. So it takes a while to get back to that kind of high level, or a decent level, I would say. But whatever, I'm not too sure. But for a lot of people, it is instinct, like little children playing it. I mean, some of the kids that play Call of Duty or Battlefield or whatever, they just rape. You know what I mean? It's unbelievable. They put their turn speed up to 10 and they let have it. And you know, kudos for people that do that. Whatever. Okay, playing video games can make you better at your job. Okay, if your job involves virtual surgery. Yeah, sure. Yeah, I do YouTube and I do surgery on the weekend. Come on. Computer simulations dedicate handling massive machinery. What? Massive machinery and so on. In fact, any kind of activity that requires visual acuity and precision in handling particular instruments can be improved through playing video games. This one study dating back since November 2012 that was conducted inside a medical university from Texas has compared 3 different groups from high school games players, college gamers, and normal medical residents. Those still in high school played about 2 hours a day, those in college about 4 hours a day, and those residents played every now and then. The best results belong to those in high school. This can only point out again that the best results, it matters not only what games you play, but also how much you play. More isn't always better, and medical residents should obviously focus on their day-to-day medical training, but playing video games shouldn't be considered a total waste of time either. After all, the independent study indicates that surgeons who play 3 hours of such games every week make fewer mistakes in their laparoscopic surgeries, with 37% to be more specific. Oh, okay. It just goes to show playing video games can make you more sociable. Okay, now normally you're in what a lot of people don't understand is you're in a room all day talking with friends or online or what have you, but this is still not social, and a lot of people don't recognize that. But in another way, it is social. You are talking with, for example, when I used to play SOCOM, I used to talk to hundreds and hundreds of people I didn't know, controlling them, giving out tactics, advice, and we won a lot of our games, to be fair, you know what I mean? And if we lost, it was only because we failed ourselves, and you have to understand that. A lot of people raged and would scream, you know what I mean? We lost the game, we wasted 30, 40 minutes of real time. But, you know, these are random people who we didn't know in a certain room, but, you know, it actually, you know, controlling the people you just met, they had certain respect for you. It didn't always work, but for the majority of the time it did, and so it does make you coerce with all people from all different types of backgrounds. I've dealt specifically with Americans. Now, I don't mean not in a racist way, because my clan, 98% of them are American, but in general, if you look at American, or the perception of an American, they're loud, aggressive, you know what I mean? And so being able to talk to them and control, well, I don't say control them, but, you know, persuade them to do things this way or that way, you know, so it just goes to show you, you know, what the gaming, what it can do, you know what I mean? It enabled me to talk to those kinds of people, and I'm not a loud person in any way, shape or form. It's not who I am, so it just goes to show. Anyway, getting on with this part, specifically what the article says in the detail here, we all agree that this doesn't necessarily require a study. Some might think that overreacting with these games will make you isolate yourself from your friends, become more sedentary. I can't even sedentary. Yeah, that is the word, but I've never heard of it in my life. Lose interest in more engaging and healthy activities. The key word here is overacting, not reacting. Overacting. If you are playing video games all day long, then you have a problem. If you are reasonably enjoying this activity up to 2 hours a day or just a few hours a week, then you can. So everything in moderation is what they're saying. This is how it benefits you apparently. Well, this is what become a part of a community of online players and transfer your virtual friendships into real ones if you stay on chats or enter local groups of players from your neighborhood. Well, I personally don't really do it with my neighborhood as such, what have you, but I do take those friendships, for example, my clan, onto Facebook and stuff. We're all friends there. I've been part of the same clan for 6 years. I talk on Skype with some of them, etc., etc. So yeah, we have our own group on Facebook and stuff like that. That's separate to what my group is on Facebook at Killer Gaming, or most of the people. Actually, there's a large chunk of people in my clan in Killer Gaming. Might put them there. So yeah, it does happen. I believe that. Corrupt. Okay, a friend or even your better half to play such games too and spend quality time together with this shared passion. Well, like I said, me and my friend who don't live here no more, we do play games, online games, etc., or co-op games, especially co-op. They're pretty fun, particularly. And you do see a lot of couples, or my cousins, boyfriends, they play games, and then they got into gaming a little bit. You know what I mean? Not as much, but but there can be that big connection between a couple playing games. And you're seeing more and more of this, which is great. Learn new discussion topics that you can approach with your friends when you go out. I'll be honest with you, most of the discussions I talk about, or I don't mind talking about, I don't know if I'll talk about them in public, but they're based on games to a point. I mean, even if I'm talking to him, I could do, or whatever. I could talk about that, but preferably it's not. People won't know what we're talking about. You know what I mean? So it's kind of not very. But whatever, I get what they're saying. Become more interested in your computer and all the other gadgets you use to play, because a more technical person save money to upgrade your system, work hard to achieve what you want, even if related to gaming. Yes, I would say you become more interested in. I'm getting a PC and I'm already thinking about having it upgraded, or later on getting it upgraded. It's just a hobby. It's a hobby. That's all it is. But it's an important one to us gamers, or whoever, about what we're going to buy, what hardware we're going to buy, etc., etc. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm new to PC gaming, just to throw that one out there. Could actually develop a passion that will allow you to make a lifetime career. Think you can become a video game scriptwriter, a video game tester, a level designer, a gameplay programmer, and many more. Now, there are many jobs in the industry, and I don't doubt that there's a lot of gamers out there that are interested in becoming developers and stuff like that, and that's really, really cool. My friend, for example, was studying to become a games developer. I won't go into it too much, but so it just goes to show that our career paths are there. There's also, if you're into drawing or designing, you can design characters for video games. It don't necessarily have to be a wallpaper pattern or a house. You know what I mean? To do making a design for a house or something. You know what I mean? Like the interior design for a house. You can maybe take that to gaming, etc., etc. So there are a lot of industries in the gaming world that need various skills. And if you enjoy one, like art, for example, you can get into it that way as well. That's just my opinion. But it is true. There are a lot of industries that can involve gaming, from programming, you can program anything. Oh, wait a minute, you're now a gaming programmer, etc., etc. As long as you know the code, the binary code and shit. Okay, let's have a look further down. Okay, now we're coming to the end of this article. Okay, develop aptitudes that will let you become better at real-life activities like playing a sport, reading more, and faster thinking and making connections much faster than everyone else around you. Develop aptitudes. Real-life activities, I would say, okay, hold on. So I'll get back to that. They think you risk becoming an addict or losing interest in the real world, but you should know better than letting yourself caught in this game. You can actually turn playing video games into the best thing that has ever happened to you. Okay, I'm going to switch back to the camera. Okay, now I know that was a long vlog, or whatever you want to call it, but develop tips. Okay, so better, if it makes you better at other activities like sport, I don't really understand how that one's really going to work, maybe. But Yes, you're going to read more faster, thinking more faster about certain things, making better assumptions about things. It all become instinct to you. I would say, well, the benefits, for example, of my personal experience of gaming in general has made me more sociable, being able to talk to people from all around the world. That's one thing that's really benefited me. That's on a personal level. But I don't know, do you guys agree with this article? Or do you disagree with this article? Wow, it's 20 minutes long, I've just seen that. But yeah. Interest in the real world, caught yourself in on a game, blah blah blah. I think as a gamer it becomes, it's a little bit harder when you try to connect with people outside the world who don't really understand it, and that topic for the most part is off limits to a point, unless you go somewhere where it is about gaming or etc. etc. But it is an opener, a topic opener. You know what I mean? You can talk to people about it. You can make that connection, online basically, and you can take those relationships to real life as well, meet up with friends, etc., etc., who you've met online. I understand that, I've done that myself. But guys, I'm going to leave the article in the link in the description below. What do you think? Tell me, actually the question of this video is, how has any of this stuff benefited you, like from taking your mind off pain, or, making yourself more sociable through gaming itself, etc., etc. Any of the topics that I have covered here today, please let me know in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this video. And join me next time. Thanks for watching. Oh, and follow me at Killer Gaming 01. I'll leave a link in the description below, and my Facebook group as well. But yeah, see you next time. Hope you enjoyed this video.